Every billionaire tells you the same lie. Wake up at 5 a.m. or you've already lost the day. But while you're forcing yourself out of bed, your brain might literally be eating itself through microglial phagocytosis. Today, we're pitting the cult of the 5 a.m. club against the biological mandate of the 8-hour sleep rule. This isn't your typical hustle harder advice. We're diving into the 1% of sleep science that elite performers use. They outthink you while they're still asleep. Let's look at the data. Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. club is built on the 20-20-20 formula: 20 minutes of exercise, 20 of reflection, 20 of learning. Philosophically, it's brilliant. It's about willpower depletion. The idea, backed by psychologists like Roy Baumeister, is that willpower is a finite resource. By 5 p.m., your self-control is gone. By 5 a.m., it's at its peak. But here is what the hustle culture gurus won't tell you: genetics. In USA's top neurobiology labs, they talk about chronotypes. About 30% of the population are night owls by genetic design. If you are a phase-delayed individual, forcing a 5 a.m. wake-up call doesn't make you disciplined. It gives you social jet lag. You are operating with a brain that is chemically drunk. Now, let's talk about the 8-hour rule. Dr. Matthew Walker calls sleep the ultimate legal performance-enhancing drug. Most people think sleep is rest. The 1% know it's data management. The practical insight: your brain doesn't sleep in hours. It sleeps in 90-minute cycles. If you wake up at 5 a.m. but went to bed at midnight, you've cut off your final REM cycle. Why does this matter? The 1% secret is this: the last 2 hours of an 8-hour sleep cycle are where emotional intelligence and creative problem-solving are processed. When you sacrifice those last 2 hours for a 5 a.m. workout, you might look productive, but you are becoming emotionally volatile and creatively bankrupt. You're trading your genius for a morning jog. If you're living in New York or Silicon Valley, you've probably heard of Dr. Andrew Huberman. He suggests something that disrupts the whole 5 a.m. versus 8-hour debate. It's called NSDR, non-sleep deep rest. Here's the practical application almost nobody uses. If you must wake up early for the 5 a.m. club benefits, you can offset the sleep debt using a 20-minute NSDR protocol in the afternoon. Psychological fact: a 20-minute NSDR session can recover the cognitive function lost from 2 hours of missed sleep. This isn't a nap, it's a brainwave reset. High performers don't just sleep long, they sleep strategically. In our high-stress USA culture, we face a mental health epidemic. Here's the dark side of the 5 a.m. trend: the glymphatic system. Think of it as the brain's sewage system. It only turns on during deep, slow-wave sleep. It flushes out beta amyloid, the protein linked to Alzheimer's. If you chase the 5 a.m. club without mastering your sleep hygiene first, you are essentially letting toxic waste build up in your prefrontal cortex. You aren't becoming a CEO, you're becoming a patient. Practical 1%. Tip: use the 10-3-2-1-0 formula to bridge the gap. 10 hours before bed, no caffeine. 3 hours before bed, no food. 2 hours before bed, no work. 1 hour before bed, no screens. 0. The number of times you hit snooze. So who wins? The 5 a.m. club or the 8-hour rule? The answer is circadian alignment. If your work requires deep creativity, the 8-hour rule is your god. If your work requires raw discipline and execution, the 5 a.m. club is your weapon. But never, and science is firm on this, never sacrifice the 8 hours for the 5 a.m. wake-up. Move your bedtime earlier instead. Before you set that alarm for tomorrow, ask yourself, is your goal to look busy or to be elite? If you want to master the psychology of high performance, hit that follow button. Stay sharp.